Why won't the button work? Why won't the button work? What's going on? Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, the final episode of the year that was 2020. Episode 111 of Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie. Welcome to my war room. We meet here every Tuesday night at 8:30, a tradition that started back on March 14th of this year. And we did 81 nights in a row, if I remember correctly. And then the show became a weekly show, and this is where we meet. Every Tuesday night at 8:30, we meet right here in my war room, and I want to welcome the War Room family. What's up, everybody? I'm sorry I'm a couple minutes late. I was chasing the dog, my co-host. If you are new to the War Room, if you just discovered the show when you got alerted on Facebook that we were live, my co-host since COVID began is the one and only Wednesday, the Goth Pug. That's where you can find her on Instagram. And I have been trying to get her to come in, and she's in the other room looking at me and doesn't want to come in here yet. So I'm hoping that she's going to make it in at some point in the show so she can thank you guys for an amazing year and for spoiling her rotten with all of the amazing toys, including the ducking stingray, the perverted pig, and all of the other toys, the amazing dinosaur that kind of also looks like a penis, albeit a sick penis, wrong color. Even her little fake Capri Sun, you guys have spoiled her rotten this year. So I want to welcome everybody to Cocktails in the War Room. If you are new, if you've never been here before, please let us know in the comments. There are a lot of people that have been here for all 111 episodes. And we love welcoming new people to the War Room. So if you're new, let us know. The first thing I want to do is cheers to you guys. I hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas, a wonderful Hanukkah, a great Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. I hope that you were able to celebrate it in a healthy and safe way, and also be able to somewhat be normal a little bit. Try to visit with your family. The pig kills me, says Jeff. Tell me about it when I see her dragging the thing around the floor. Oh, my. And Monica says, and a bag of dicks. Exactly. I actually, you know what sucks? I have a bag of dicks, and I left them in the kitchen. I might leave Wednesday, and I might get up and leave you guys in the war room to go get the bag of dicks. It's the last show of the year, so I might have to. I just remembered that I had them in there. Damn you, dicks. So hello, squeaky penis. I need that glass, says Mark. This is a very old glass, actually. I'll show it to you guys because I got to show you the back. This is from 2002. The Hillman Morning Show, Mistress Carrie, Rocco and Maddie, and Jay Ferreira at night. This is a collector's item. This glass, 18 years old. This glass is old enough to vote. I wanted to end the year with Fernandez Sangria because I believe that's the first thing I was drinking the first night in the War Room. And so I wanted to do the last show of the year with some delicious Fernandez Sangria. So, all right, I'm doing it. It's totally unprofessional. I'm going to get the dicks. I want to start the show off right. It's the last show of the year. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to get the dicks. All right, hold on. I'm going to move all the dog toys. I gotta get off the couch. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to get the dicks. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I'm coming. I got the dicks. Hold on. I got the dicks and the dog. I got the dicks. Okay. I do love the dicks. They're so good. Come here, Wednesday. Come and say hi to everybody. Come here. I'll turn the Pug Cam on if you come over and say hi to everybody. She's so spoiled. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. Why are you out of focus? Say hi. There you go. Say thank you guys for all of the amazing presents you guys have been buying me this year. You got your pig. Where's your stingray? There it is. There you go. All right, the world seems better. I got the dicks, guys. So while she's biting the pig, I'm going to open it. She wants the dicks. You can't have the dicks. No. The dicks are for grown-ups, and you're a kid. You're too small to have the dicks. I can't open the dicks either. No, you can't have the dicks Wednesday. I can't get the dicks open. Look at her. She's licking her lips at the thought of the dicks. There we go. Ah, green, my favorite. I figured we might as well end the year right. No, you can't have the dogs begging for the dicks. You can't have the dicks. Thank you for the kisses, but you're still not getting any dicks. That's what she said. She has pigs. Yeah, I know. You have the pig dick. Rawr. There you go. Dicks are chewy. Use your teeth. I did use my teeth. Hi, Gigi. Great. Now that I know Gigi's watching, I'm over here eating the candy. Fernandez Sangria. Don't go for the bag of dicks Wednesday. Thomas says, teeth on dick, so wrong. Sorry, Sean. Sometimes you got to bust out the teeth. You just got to be careful. Bag of dick, bet you can't eat just one, says David. Carrie has a bag of dicks in her mouth. Yes, Audra, I do. And I figured that was the best way to end this bag of dicks year. Am I wrong? I don't think I am. Right, Wednesday? So how were you guys with the holidays? You guys got any crazy family stories? Will you stop showing everybody your butthole? It's impolite. At least show them your cute fuzzy face. She just wants to play tug of war. Let's see. She's good. Hi, everybody's saying hi to Gigi. I want to order some, says Lisa. Sangria with limoncello. There's no limoncello tonight. We're not having a limoncello night tonight. We're not going full Fernandez on the last show of the year. I wonder why she's so blurry today. Why is Wednesday's camera so blurry? Are you being a good girl? Yeah, there you go. Why is the Pug Cam blurry Wednesday? What did you do to the Pug Cam? What did you do to it? What did you do to it? Huh? See, you can't get her in here. And then once you get her in here, hey, that's my finger. Stop biting my finger. Do you want to come up here and sit on my lap? Come here. Come here and say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Make some of your weird pug noises. Say hi. Say. You don't want to make any of your pug noises. Fine. Let's see. Small Christmas with family, still a great one. Hope you had a good one too. Small Christmas. We did the family traditions like we do. We had lasagna. We had those amazing Italian anise cookies. Watch the new Wonder Woman, which I want to talk to you guys about in the show later on. So don't touch the keyboard, weirdo. So don't tell me how you like the Wonder Woman yet if you watched it. We're going to talk about that later on in the show. Let's see. Everybody's sending love. I must have missed what was going on, but I love the fact that you guys are always sending love and support to everybody. Ordered Indian food and stayed home and had Zoom calls, says David. You know, I never liked or tried really Indian food until a few years ago. I think it was like 5 years ago. And I am fully addicted to it now. I absolutely love it. Any chance I get to have it, I can't wait to have it. Sorry, the dog is fully knocking the pillows off the couch. Nice way to end the year, Wednesday. Just want to knock all the pillows off the couch. Hey, What are you doing? Don't me. So if you had garlic naan and chicken tikka masala and samosas, now I'm thinking about Indian food. Thanks a lot, David. Jeff says homemade pasta, homemade sauce, plus a Captain and ginger. Fantastic. Let's see. Zoom to watch the niece and nephews open gifts. That's awesome. Quiet Christmas. My mom lost her job of 15 years because of the stupid snow. Come on, man. Let's see. Now I want Indian, says Keith. I know. The food is unbelievable. It's so good. Let's see. Everybody's sending love. Joe says, we love Wednesday. I'm glad you love her. She's sitting over here where the camera isn't. It's like I go through the trouble of wiring the dog her own camera, and then she doesn't want to use it. Wednesday. Let me see. I'm going to try and refocus Wednesday's camera because I can't get it to work. Hold on. I don't know why it's not focusing. There we go. Taking the Pug Cam on the road. Wednesday. What are you doing? Wednesday. Why are you sitting where the Pug Cam's not? Huh? Wednesday. You guys can see the war room a little bit. The internet wire running across the floor over there. Wednesday. Come here and say hi to everybody. Come here. Say hi to everybody. Hold on. I set her camera back up over here. Oh, there we go. There. Now if I could just get her to come over here. Come on. There, now it's focused. I don't know why it was so blurry before. We had Mexicali takeout Christmas. It was great, says Mark. Let's see. Hocus Pocus by Focus. What are you guys talking about? Feels like the Blair Witch Project, or in Marilyn Manson's case, the Blair Dick Project, as you will see in the dictionary on mistresscarrie.com if you're not familiar. You should do a commemorative calendar, says Norman. Stop showing them your butthole. It's not polite, Wednesday. It's not very ladylike. I know. Hold on. Let me share it with Wednesday so you can see more of like me and butthole instead of just butthole. Hey, what are you doing? You going to come over here or are you done? Watch, now I'll start eating the dicks again, and then guess who will come over and visit? See her? Right there. You can't have these. These are for grown-ups. Christmas is quiet, but okay. Had to work at midnight. How was Christmas for you and the family on Wednesday? Walter wants to know. We were just mellow. BT's barbecue and fried chicken. Hell yeah. Frank said he had a great Christmas. Will says cheers. Cheers to you, Will. What? Okay. Glad that she's in focus now. Come here. Say hi to everybody. See? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nugget. We have a lot to talk to these guys about. Matter of fact, let's start the conversation. So today is the last episode of Cocktails in the War Room. We've done 111 of these. It started back on March 14th to help us get through what we thought was going to be a short government shutdown because of the coronavirus that turned into a year-long nightmare. So what I thought I would do is ask you guys for the high point and the low point of your year. For me, obviously, the low point was losing WAAF. I have two high points, one business, one personal. Obviously, if I'm going to have to just pick one, I'm going to pick the personal. Getting married was the highlight of my year, obviously. If you had told me a year ago that I would have been married right now, I would have told you that you were crazy. Matter of fact, if you had told me a year ago right now that I would be talking to you guys in the war room, that the world would be shut down, that WAF would be gone, that I would be married, and that I would have a studio and a show in the war room, I would have told you guys to get back on the spaceship and go back to wherever the aliens brought you from. I can't believe how different things are a year from now. And just in the time that we've been hanging out since March, things are so different. And they're getting better all the time. Matter of fact, I'm going to have a big announcement next week. So come back next week. Big announcement for the first show of 2021. But I think the two high points for me, obviously getting married was the personal high point, but the high point for me professionally was, I think the first war room. I think everything kind of steamrolled from there. I had planned on building the studio by the time the war room started. I had already been working on the concept of the podcast and all of that. But had you guys not joined me in the war room that first night, had you guys not showered me with the love and support that you have, not only on the first night, but the second night and the third night and the fourth night and every night since, and been there to support Mass Military Support Foundation and buying all the War Room t-shirts and just pushing me along, I don't think I'd be where I am right now. And so if I have to look at the moment that things changed, the high point for me is the happy accident and the first episode of Cocktails in the War Room. And you guys have been there with me through the whole thing. So low point was the passing of my dad. High point is my family, says Keith. Big gig announcement. It's not about the big gig, Mark. I'm sorry to tell you that. But let's see. Listen to podcast 26. Oh, are you guys talking about LB? Yeah, LB is podcast 26. He sounds fantastic, but go back and listen to podcast 26 because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised to hear LB the way that he was. And if you haven't caught up on all of the weekly episodes, there's some really good ones. We're going to catch up with last week's episode in a minute, but Mark says the feeling is mutual. Carry 111. High point, went back to college. Low point, losing 3 friends to COVID and having COVID myself, says Amanda. Monica says, thank you for this happy accident. I now have family members. I know, it's crazy how far things have progressed. I do want to tell you guys that I'm working with Mass Military Support Foundation to get another volunteer day scheduled for sometime in January. So I'm working on that for sure. Jared says, high points, the war room, and your podcast. Thank you, Jared. Low point, divorce. High point, divorce. Barbara, you know what? I totally get that. Totally get it. Betty says, war room is the high. Walter says, war room kept us going through the pandemic. High was finding all of you guys. Low, not being able to be around my family, says Donna. I totally get that. Travis says, high point, having you for number 200 on my podcast, Oscar Mike Radio, which is Travis's podcast. And low point was missing my grandmother's funeral. It's like those are the things when we look back on this years from now. One of the things we said very early on here in the war room when things really hit the first time, like in April, and it got really bad, was we all want to make sure that we can be proud of how we acted years from now, because history is going to judge us based on how we react. When the facts about COVID come out years from now, when they finally realize why it was so catchy and why some people didn't get it versus the people that got it and were asymptomatic, and then the people that got really, really sick and the people died. Eventually, we are going to get the answers to why 2 different people standing next to each other in the same room could have completely different reactions to COVID. But there's going to come a time where little kids today are going to be adults. And they're going to ask serious questions. The way that we grew up asking questions about the Zapruder film and the grassy knoll and wondering why things, Area 51, like we grew up skeptical and questioning things like the Vietnam War and why the government made decisions that it made. And when you're looking back at it, right, the Monday morning quarterbacking kind of thing, people are going to ask those questions of how we reacted. And are we going to be proud of how we reacted and what we did? It's my belief that I think we're going to get a lot of clarity on the science of the virus, not only its origin, but why certain people were more susceptible than others. In my opinion, I don't think the people that are running around calling it fake, getting into fistfights about wearing masks, I don't think that they're going to be on the right side of history. I could be wrong, but I don't think that I am. And I just hope that all of us, unfortunately or fortunately for all of us, our experience with the virus is documented for all time here in the War Room because all of the episodes are recorded and they're all up on mistresscarrie.com and all of the things that we talked about and the way that we were reacting to the news in real time and the conversations we were having and the tears that we shed. And we didn't really debate, but we definitely were here to support each other. And I wonder how something like that 10 years from now or 15 years from now is going to be viewed. And how our actions, I have nieces and nephews that are like 5 and 6 years old, and all they're going to remember really of the coronavirus is maybe the pictures from them wearing masks and not being able to go to school. But when they're in their 20s and we're learning really exactly what was going on, are they going to look back at our generation as being a bunch of selfish assholes, or are they going to look back and laugh at us? Like, how are they going to react 20 years from now? And are we all, as a family here, going to be okay with how we all handled this? And I laugh all the time when I talk to people about the War Room, and I'm like, God, if I had a nickel for every tear I shed in that room over this year, I would be so rich. And, it's very, the unknown of it. There are some people that are skeptical with the rollout of the virus saying, it's taken other viruses, decades to come up with a vaccination. But one of the things that you never hear about is the technology that we have, as opposed to what they had 40 years ago or 60 years ago. We have computers that can do billions of calculations almost instantaneously, where 60 years ago, those calculations were being done one at a time by people. And so I see the ability of computers and science and technology to be able to get a bunch of scientists from around the country and around the globe connected digitally to be able to share information and brainstorm and to be able to trial and error things and to be able to galvanize a group of people that were willing to be the test subjects and were willing to succumb to the placebo. And I just think that someday we are all going to look back at these War Room episodes as this time capsule of this crazy year. And I just hope that we are all happy with what we see. I'm going to be mortified at some of the stuff that we talked about. Here I am getting drunk on the internet, eating a bag of gummy dicks. How's that going to age? How am I going to explain that to my nieces and nephews, my stepkids? High point, Mark says, 2020, January and February, low points, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. I totally concur. That should be the next saying on the Cocktails in the War Room t-shirt, says Michelle. Everybody should be taking vitamin D3, IU, and zinc. I don't even know what all of that says. Says Debbie, I think everybody should just be taking dicks. It's what plants crave. Do you still have the purple flame casket that my brother gave you, says Matt. Matt, you tell your brother That casket is alive and well. That casket, sorry, I'm munching in your ear. Dicks are very chewy. The casket, so just so you guys know who Matt is, he's asking about my purple flamed casket. So way back in what has got to be, I don't know, 2003, I loved that show 6 Feet Under on HBO. And all of a sudden one day at the radio station, I get a call from security that there was a hearse in the loading dock and that there was a delivery for me. And these guys brought a casket up into the studio, dressed as undertakers, suits, the whole thing. And they came in, they brought me this casket, and they had it painted to match my motorcycle. It's all purple, metallic flames. It's awesome. And I got in it on the air. I interviewed them. And I was like, guys, I think at the time I was driving, I either had a Ford Escort or a Ford Escape. I don't know, but it was a tiny car. I had no way to get the casket home. And at the time I was living in a condo complex. And I was like, guys, I don't thank you for the casket, but it can't stay in the studio. And I don't know how I'm going to get it home. They were like, don't worry, we'll deliver it to your house. So next thing you know, the hearse pulls up in front of my condo and all of the old people are looking through the blinds. And these guys are carrying a casket into the house and people were losing their minds. When I moved into this house, I had to get movers. And I remember that they were Brazilian and they would not touch the casket. They were making the sign of the cross. We got the casket. They would only drop it in the driveway. They wouldn't bring it into the house. It was really funny. So people, when they come here, they always want to see the war room. And they're always like, can I see your Pez dispenser collection? And I want to see the casket. The casket's become a thing. Actually, the weekend I met my husband years ago, him and some friends came to the house. And when they saw the casket downstairs, they insisted, I have it standing up against a wall downstairs. And they insisted on taking it off the wall so that they could all get in it and take selfies acting like dead bodies. And I've used the casket for that. And then, yes, Mark, I'm going to talk about that. And then I've used it actually at a Halloween party once. We filled it with Bud Light cans, as many Bud Light cans as we could cram into it. And you had to get raffle tickets, and anybody that guessed the exact number of Bud Light cans won all the beer that was in the casket. And that was really fun. So long story short, yes, I still have the casket. Yes, I still love it. It's still beautiful and it's here. So tell your brother that I said thank you. Liquid filled dicks, Fernandez said. Yeah. With limoncello. Totally. Okay. They don't have gummy pussies that I've seen, Diva, but if they do, feel free to send them to me. Keith says, Pez dispenser collection? Yeah, I've been collecting them since I was a kid. I have hundreds of them in a display case next to the casket. So downstairs, I have an old jukebox, my Pez dispenser collection, and a casket all on the same wall. My life is weird. What do you want me to tell you? Let's see. Walter says, I would say high point, keeping the faith, helping those who needed help, trying to be in the norms as much as this is an adjustment of life and been for all of us. And your cocktails in the war room, such a great outlet for info. And thank you. The low point, loss of life, and the uncertainty. I totally agree. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Penny? Gummy boob, says Keith. Sending healing hugs. Damn, that's a collection I'd like to see. There's pictures. I've put pictures up. I believe they're on my Facebook page. Sex in the casket, Diva wants to know. I'm not saying nothing about that, Diva. Not saying nothing about that. What's up, Michael? No problem on being late. It's all good. You should take a picture of that room and show it to all of us. I will take pictures of some of the stuff. There's some stuff in there that I don't want to take pictures of, just like here in the war room, which is why I don't just give you guys a guided tour. There's some stuff, personal stuff, some stuff I'm not supposed to have. So I don't want these things on the internet. But yes, I will show you guys some of the stuff that's down there and put up some pictures and stuff. Are there any plans to go back on the air soon, says Sunny. Sunny, here's the deal. I don't think that until the entertainment industry starts getting back on track that I'm going to really know what next year is going to bring. Radio stations and radio companies have changed so much this year, and I don't know how much of that change is temporary and how much of that change is permanent. When I started my company and obviously started the War Room and started the podcast, I have left myself open to any and all possibility. That's one of the reasons why I put the contact me form on the website so that anybody could get in touch with me about any opportunity. Would I love to be back on the air? 100%. Would I love to be back on the air live in Boston? That would be great. Would I love to be back on the air in a syndicated way, in a national way? That's one of my goals for 2021 is to figure that out, to see if I could pull it off. Do I want to continue with the podcast? Yes. Do I want to continue with the War Room? Yes. Do I want to see if there's things that we can do to make them bigger than they already are? Hell yeah. But as far as getting back on the air, they know how to get a hold of me. I'm open to the conversations. I just don't know what the industry is going to do and how it's going to react and how different it's going to be after COVID, whenever that after COVID is. None of us really know what that world looks like, but the entertainment industry has been disproportionately affected in a negative way, and I believe permanently changed. And I don't believe it's for the good. I think a lot of companies are learning habits that they're not going to be willing to give up, like pre-recording shows and having one DJ in one place record shows on multiple radio stations around the country, so that it gives all of those local radio stations less of an incentive to have live and local staffs. I mean, I don't know, but I would love to have that immediacy and, on a tightrope without a safety net of being back on the air live. It's kind of like what we do here in the War Room, except if I slip and say fuck, like I can't get fired. Whereas when I was on the radio, I could. So we'll see what happens. I am open to any and all conversation, and I hope that there's something out there for me, but I can't count on it. And the one big lesson that I learned this year after 29 years at AAF and then losing, my dream job, the thing that I loved more than anything. It's just like, with your stock portfolio, to diversify and to have a backup plan and to have things that you can do and zigs when you can zag. And I think that the War Room and the podcast and the studio and all of the other things that I've been working on give me a lot of those options. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see. I am trying not to put too many eggs in the basket of 2021 being amazing, because I don't want to set myself up for this massive disappointment if the world doesn't come back as robustly as I hope that it does this year. It's like I'm being cautiously optimistic and trying to manage my expectations, because I think all of us to a certain extent feel like as soon as the clock strikes midnight on Thursday night, that everything is going to be instantly different and better. And we all know that's not the case, but in the back of our heads, it's like as soon as we don't see 2020 on anything, it feels instantly better already. Am I wrong in that? But I don't know how quickly 2021 is going to pull up out of this tailspin that we're in. And I just hope that by summer, we're really feeling the effects of our society opening back up, with the vaccination being more widely available and some more progressed science on the virus and treatments. And I really feel for the medical community, because I remember what it was like to sit down after I finished the marathon, right? Or anything that you've done that's incredibly physically taxing and emotionally draining. And you have this emotional dump where you're laughing and you're crying and then you sleep. And I remember saying like, I'm never running the marathon again. And people were like, a week after you won't say that. You'll be waiting to do it next year. I still say I'm never running the marathon again because it was the hardest thing I had ever done. And what I hope doesn't happen is that our healthcare workers and the people that are our first responders, the people that have been on the front lines of this thing, aren't so tired that they can't rest and they quit. And I hope that we don't feel the ramifications of that for years. And I'm afraid of that. And so I hope that we can move forward, but I hope we're moving in a direction that's better. So just saying 2021 is a bit of a relief. I know, Kathy, I totally agree with you. It's just crazy, and so all we can do is be cautiously optimistic and try to go into this year with a little bit of enthusiasm and some belief that things are going to get better. And again, to just wake up every day and try to be proud of how we're acting and to think about how we're going to defend ourselves of the choices that we've made 15 or 20 years from now when our kids and grandkids are looking at us going, what were you thinking? And for me, I'm going to have all these videos talking to all of you guys crying and drunk and eating dicks and playing with pigs and all of this other stuff. And I just hope that, 10 years from now, I'm still proud of everything that we've done here in the war room. But you guys have definitely, long story short, as you know how long-winded I can get, you guys and this has been the highlight of my year. Besides getting married, you guys are right up there. And so for you guys, I am so appreciative. And I love you guys for that. And cheers to all of you having a better 2021 than you had of a 2020, for sure. Okay, let's talk about some stuff, shall we? Episode 29 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. By the way, thank you to our podcast sponsor, DCU, who not only has partnered with me this year, but from what I'm hearing, they are going to continue that support into the new year. And I could not be more pleased and proud to be partnering with Digital Federal Credit Union. I can't say enough good things about them. I think they are just a wonderful organization that not only is based in the community and fosters community relations, but also really values people and their relationships with people, individual people. And the fact that they value their relationship with me to be my first big sponsor of the podcast, I think speaks volumes for them to me and vice versa, that we've gone through so much together over the years. And I'm just very grateful that they've once again decided to partner with me. So episode 29, sponsored by DCU at dcu.org. And it was Nuno Betancourt. And how did you guys like this episode? I thought it was a fantastic episode. I thought Nuno was amazing. We had only intended on talking for like 45 minutes to an hour, and the episode ended up being like 2 hours and 15 minutes. He wouldn't let me end the interview at one point. I was like, all right, Nuno, I'll let you go, because I felt bad. We were talking so long. And he was like, no, fuck that. I'm going to say when this interview is over. I loved his comments on Eddie Van Halen. I thought, Donna says, Nuno was great. Great episode. You have come up with, your message just got, his Eddie Van Halen chat was so good. I totally agree. I loved hearing his part, and it harkens back to the Guitar Gods episode, and I referenced it with Nuno. I thought it was really interesting the way that Nuno talked about playing Eddie Van Halen's guitar with his cable, with his pedals coming through his rig on his stage, and that he still sounded like Nuno. And he didn't sound like Eddie Van Halen, because only Eddie Van Halen could sound like Eddie Van Halen. I loved that part of the story. Melissa says he's really down to earth. You know what I love? If you listen to the first few minutes, Nuno just sounds like Nuno, but about 10 minutes in, his mass hole came back. Am I wrong? Like, I could feel it. As the more he and I talked, like the more mass hole came out of him, because he's in LA and he's not around mass holes as much. And so I really felt like the more that we talked, the more he was like, yeah. and fuck that guy and this and that. And I was like, yes, Nuno's back. You can take the boy out of Hudson, Mass, but you can't take the Hudson, Mass out of the boy. It's like he nails on a chalkboard while chewing on foil. What are you talking about, Tracy? Nuno can come back whenever he wants. Great episode. You have to come up with a creative ask next time. What do you mean, Donna? I don't know what you mean by that. He was great. I saw Extreme a few years back at Mohegan. They were super late and all they did was complain, thought he was a jerk. Mind changed. We all have bad days. You know what? That's one of the things that I think about a lot. You know, I mean, you guys have seen me have a good day and a bad day here in the War Room. And sometimes those hometown shows, the bands that are from here, Stained, Godsmack, Extreme, Aerosmith, those are way more stressful for bands when they play in their hometown because there's so many things going on. There's so much family, so many friends that are calling and texting and making plans and backstage passes to get coordinated and hotel rooms and kids. And there's so much pressure on these guys. And then knowing that the audience is filled with their diehard fans that have been there forever, sometimes those hometown shows are way more difficult for them. And you can always get somebody on a bad day. It's always possible. Penny says, now I want to go to the Azores. I know so many people that have gone that literally say it's one of the most beautiful places they've ever gone. I had a couple of my friends, matter of fact, Christine at Latini Creative, she went to the Azores a couple years ago and came back and couldn't stop talking about the wine and the cheese and the bread and just how amazing the people were and the scenery and the vistas, the photographs. I mean, she couldn't stop raving about it. And she's one of the people that really inspired me to always want to go there, on top of the fact that, you know, knowing members of the Betancourt family. And not only that, but you guys remember Gomez, who used to be on the air at AAF? His family's from the Azores as well. His parents were actually living on two separate islands. And they met when his dad went to another island and met the mom. And they're Azorean as well. And so I grew up hearing, you know, just at AAF, hearing a lot about Gomez talking about his family in the Azores as well. So I can't wait to go there someday. Let's see. Richard says, if you have any integrity about how you sound for your audience, then you are bound to be a perfectionist, and that's what sets you apart. Yeah, and I believe Nuno and those guys are perfectionists. And I think if any little thing goes wrong, it just bothers the shit out of them. I've known Gary long enough. I've known Pat long enough. I've known all of those guys long enough that, you know, anything could kind of set them off in a bad way. Let's see. My great-grandfather came from the Azores as a 13-year-old stowaway on a whaling ship. No way, Paul. Really? That's amazing. Let's see. Honeymoon in the Azores? I would love that. I just need my husband to be back on American soil long enough to put him back on the plane and get him to the Azores. However, he did listen to this episode of the podcast because I'll tell you this. So my husband listens to the podcast, which I think is his way of like trying to learn about rock music because he's not a big rock guy, which is kind of funny that we ended up getting married. But it's also his way of wanting to support me from far away. And he gets a kick out of the fact that he gets shout outs from all the people that are on the podcast all the time. And he thinks it's hilarious. So cheers to the hubs. I think he's watching right now. I'm not sure, but I think he is. Hi, babe. Let's see. Audra says opposites attract. Yeah, tell me about it. Need to have the hubby on the podcast. Oh, you guys don't want that. Okay. So I'm glad you guys liked episode 29 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. Now, for the first time, and some people caught it and some people didn't, it's the first time that you actually knew who's going to be on the podcast next week because I let it slip in this week's episode. So if you listen to the Nuno episode all the way through, then you know who is going to be on the podcast this week. And it's my friend Paul Mercurio. Paul Mercurio is from Rhode Island, grew up in a big Italian family. And the first time he and I talked, we hit it off right away. It's like we're related, like we're brother and sister. Paul Mercurio is a stand-up comic. He has his own podcast called The Paul Mercurio Show. He had a one-man show on Broadway. He was a writer for The Daily Show and is a writer for The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And Paul Mercurio also, while doing a comedy gig in Florida over the summer, got COVID-19. Now, Paul is not old, not overweight, not immunocompromised, not diabetic, not someone that has heart disease or like any pre-existing condition that has been used to justify serious illness from COVID-19. You know, diabetes, age, immunocompromised, chemotherapy, weakened immune system, you know, severe obesity. Like there are so many things that they've used to say, if you have any of all of these things, to be really careful. He has none of them. He got COVID-19 in June and he is still suffering the effects of it. I've been trying to get him on the podcast for months and he didn't feel up to it. And I finally got him on the podcast and I thought it was great for a number of reasons. One, because I haven't talked to him publicly since AAF went off the air. And he used to come on my show all the time when he was out touring, doing stand-up comedy. What's funny is that I've known Paul for years and we've never met in person. Every time he came to Boston, I was always traveling. One time I was in Vegas with Stiz. There was just always something going on where I wasn't around to be able to go and see him perform live. But he was on my show so many times. He was on my old podcast, The Side Piece at AAF. And I finally got him on the podcast. One of the reasons I wanted to get him on was just because I love the guy. Number two, his podcast is awesome. He has this wide range of amazing guests. Recently, he talked to Peter Frampton, and he's talked to people like Al Roker, and he talked to Kevin Costner, but he talks to them about things that they normally don't talk about in interviews. Like Kevin Costner wanted to talk about his band. And like, I didn't even really know Kevin Costner was a musician. So I really wanted to talk to Paul about a lot of stuff. But one of the other reasons why I wanted to talk to him was about what we were talking about earlier. There's a lot of people that don't know anyone that has got COVID. Someone that's really gotten sick from it, someone that's still battling the after effects. And Paul was very candid about what this has done to him and the battle that he's fighting. And one of the problems that, you know, we were even guilty of it, and I was guilty of it in the early stages of it, was talking about how many cases and how many deaths. And then people say, well, you don't talk about the people that recover from it. That was always the criticism. Stop counting the dead people and start talking about the percentage of the people that survive. But the act of surviving COVID, that's also different for everyone. There are some people that get diagnosed with COVID or test positive, and they're completely asymptomatic the whole time. Then there's people that end up on the ventilator, and there's people that die. There's people that have very light symptoms like a fever or something for a couple days, and then they're okay. What we don't know is the long-term effects of COVID and what it's doing to the vascular system and the inflammation problems that people are having. Paul is still 6 months later battling side effects of COVID-19. And like I said, he is not part of any of the at-risk groups. And it's something that is making his life challenging on a day-to-day basis. And it's something that I think if more people heard about it, they might give it pause, because if all you say is, well, the odds of me dying from this thing are low. Okay, well, you could get into, you know, the argument against, say, wearing a motorcycle helmet. Now, it's your choice. You guys know how I feel about motorcycle helmets. I'm not going to tell you to wear them. I'm just going to tell you that I would be dead if I wasn't wearing mine. There's a difference between, you know, some people will say, oh, I'm not wearing a helmet. When it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Okay, that's fine. But you're looking at the two polar opposites, that you're totally going to live or you're going to die. What about the in between? What about the confined to a wheelchair for the rest of your life? What about the I lost a limb? What about the millions of dollars in medical debt that you're going to be for the rest of your life and how that's going to financially ruin you? What about you being a vegetable and being taken care of every day for the rest of your life? What Paul Mercurio is going through is an unknown string of weird side effects that he doesn't know when they're going to end. He doesn't know when they're going to get better, and he doesn't know what's going to show up tomorrow. And I think it's a really interesting conversation, especially having it with a stand-up comic, because you guys know gallows humor is some of my favorite. That I'm the person at the funeral trying to make jokes because I have to process everything with humor. He's that way as well. So it's not a super downer, preachy episode by any stretch of the imagination. There's a lot of really funny conversations in there. Because we don't just talk about his COVID-19 diagnosis, but we talk a lot about the celebrities he talks about in his podcast and his Italian upbringing and his mother's hearing aids. And there's just so much in there. And if you guys have never heard him on my show, I can't wait for you guys to get to know Paul Mercurio, because I think you guys, especially because he's a New England guy, I think you guys are going to love him. So yes, Eric says, what's the quality of life? That's the thing that Paul's dealing with right now, is that it has adversely affected his quality of life, and he doesn't know if and when it will ever go back to the way that it was. And that's really scary for him. And you can hear it when he talks about it. So I can't wait for you guys to hear it. So this episode, which is episode 30, the last episode of 2020, goes live at midnight tonight. And I can't wait for you guys to get to know my friend, Paul Mercurio. Don't forget, if you subscribe to the podcast, not only do you get the weekly episodes that come out every Wednesday, but you also get the sit reps that come out Monday through Friday. That's all your rock news, music headlines, and entertainment updates in under 5 minutes. So hit subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, and you get all of the sit reps as well. And if you can't remember where to get the Mistress Carrie podcast, here you go. Apple, Google, Spotify, radio.com, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Deezer, Overcast, TuneIn, Pandora, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, Amazon, JioSaavn, Ghana, Player FM, your smart speakers. And that is going to be part of the big announcement coming next week. So be listening for that. A lot of cool stuff coming. Don't forget, 98 countries and growing. So we got to welcome everybody from around the world that is discovering the Mistress Carrie podcast every week. And I love the fact that we are slowly but surely covering this map with different shades of blue, which is awesome. All right, let's talk about some music headlines, because there's definitely some stuff that we want to talk about. Kiss and the Melvins are both doing live streaming concerts on New Year's Eve. Kiss is doing the $40 million concert in Dubai with $1 million fireworks extravaganza, which is just insane. So that is happening. You can get virtual tickets for those live streams. And by the way, if you go to mistresscarrie.com, check out the events calendar, because there's a list of all of the live stream concerts that are getting scheduled into the new year with the links to buy tickets and all of the info. So there's some really cool ones coming up. There's a David Bowie tribute coming up. There is the Seven Dust one coming up. There's some really, really cool ones. Did you guys get vinyl for Christmas? The week before Christmas, the vinyl sales were the highest that they've been in 34 years. They sold 1.842 million vinyl albums in 1 week before Christmas. The number one vinyl album of that week was Paul McCartney's new solo album, 3, which is insane. But I know so many people that got record players for Christmas. I am all about this. Get your kids a record player. Teach them about vinyl. Show them how amazing the listening experience is. Show them album artwork. I'm so happy that vinyl is back, and back in a huge way. Not only did 2 weeks this year have vinyl outsell CDs for the first time since 1991, but vinyl is selling like crazy. I just think it's great. Metallica announced a partnership with Puck Hockey Gear. So they have a line of hockey-inspired merchandise that's going to be available in the Met store, which is really cool. Christmas night, I watched Wonder Woman. Did you guys watch Wonder Woman? What did you guys think? I thought it was great. I loved all of the 80s stuff. I thought it was hilarious. They have already fast-tracked Wonder Woman 3, which is going to be the last movie. They had always intended the movie to be a trilogy. Gal Gadot is coming back as Wonder Woman for the third one. And the same writer and director are coming back as well. No word yet on when that's going to come out, but they've greenlighted the third movie and they're fast-tracking it because of the success. It's the biggest movie of the year, and it's only been out for a few days, which is crazy. Audra says, I still have the original Star Wars vinyl. That's worth some money. It's got to be. So take care of that, Audra. Kathy has Purple Rain. We got to do a vinyl episode of the War Room one night. I'm going to plan that so that I can dig out my vinyl and we can all go through our records together. I think that would be awesome. So I hope you guys, and parachute pants. I know, I love the parachute pants in Wonder Woman. Shannon says, I haven't seen it yet. I think it's really cool. Where can I watch it? It's on HBO Max, or I believe you can get it pay-per-view. It's in theaters if you can find a theater, but HBO Max has it. I like the first Wonder Woman better, but that's just me. Yeah, I think any sequel is difficult to hold up. Speaking of that, the Coming to America trailer is out. That comes out March 5th. Can't wait for that. They're making 2 more movies for Wonder Woman. I have an itchy nose. I read there was only 1 more movie coming out just for Wonder Woman and that she may make appearances in other movies, but I could be wrong. And speaking of reboots, Cobra Kai has moved up season 3 a week. And so now the entire season 3 is coming out on New Year's Day. So if you are a fan of Cobra Kai, you can watch season 3 New Year's Day. Okay. So I wanted to talk about this. So last fall, I made a trip to Dallas, and while I was there, brought a bunch of friends and the hubs before we were married, and we went to Arlington, Texas, and we went and tracked down the Abbott brothers' grave. That's what the grave looked like. What you see in that picture is obviously Vinny and Dime, and then over in the bottom corner, right here, is their mom's grave as well. A black wrought iron fence has now been put up around the entire perimeter of that green grass behind the black Abbott headstone and then along the sidewalk where you see me sitting. And so you can no longer go in there anymore. And that fence was erected sometime this week. I know that shortly after Vinny, after his grave marker had been installed in 2019, somebody had gone and carved their name in it and stuff. And so I think that the cemetery finally had enough with people defacing, carving their name and stuff. When I was there, I saw a lot of guitar picks. I saw a lot of things left behind. That's me pouring some Crown Royal out at their graves, which I think is something that they would appreciate. But it makes me really sad that that they had to put a big, it's a very intricate, ornate black wrought iron fence. It looks really nice, but it makes me sad that it had to be put there so that people have to be kept away. Because it was really nice to just go there and kind of sit down with those guys and have a drink and just kind of sit in the quiet. You can't see it, but kind of behind the hedges, there's a big water feature and a big fountain. So you just hear the sound of the water there. And it's a really nice, if you ever go to Dallas, it's not that far outside of Dallas that you can go and visit the Abbott brothers. And it was just really nice. I'm glad that I went, but it makes me sad that they had to put a fence up. So I wanted to share that with you guys as well. It made me sad. All right. I want to talk about this really quick. Now that the holidays are over, if you guys are maybe making New Year's resolutions, if you're talking about putting your health and wellness first, if you are making the resolution to take better care of yourself and to feel better in the new year, the CBD Relief Clinic is willing to give you 15% off of everything you buy. So you can go to cbdreliefclinic.com. There's a lot of bad CBD products out there, And I think some people, they'll try a bad product and then they swear off of it because they say it doesn't work. The CBD Relief Clinic is all made in the USA. It's certified USDA organic. It is made in an FDA registered facility and it's third-party lab tested as well. Now, I don't know a lot about CBD, but what I know about the CBD Relief Clinic is they ship everything straight from New Hampshire. They are lifelong AAF fans and big supporters of the Mistress Carrie show and podcast. And they also believe in what they're doing. They have fully researched it. They use it themselves. And they're incredibly open and willing to answer your questions. And they're totally transparent about the products. So if you go to their website, you can ask them questions and they'll get right back to you. So go to cbdreliefclinic.com. And if you use the code Mistress15, you will get 15% off of everything you buy. So I want to thank them for all of their support this year. I love it when companies and organizations want to give you guys discounts on stuff. I just think it's awesome that they're rewarding the War Room family for being what you guys are, which is an amazing group of people. So you go to the cbdreliefclinic.com, use Mistress15, and you'll get 15% off of everything you buy. Now that we're almost at the end of the year, I want to thank my friends at Larkin Motors who sent me this amazing stack of awesome, super warm merch. They sent me, I've been mailing out your hoodies and they sent me a hoodie, which I love. They sent me this awesome shirt. Sorry, I keep showing you the wrong side. They sent me the hoodie in black too, which I love. Super soft and cozy and perfect for the winter. So I want to thank those guys for the care package they sent because it really meant a lot. If you guys are looking for a way to make charitable contributions before the end of the calendar year this year, this is a great way for you to do it. The Larkin Motors Foundation is raffling off this 2020 GMC Denali. They're only selling 2,500 tickets. The tickets are $100 a piece. This is a nonprofit, so your raffle tickets are a tax deduction. The proceeds are going to benefit local veterans, and the organization and foundation are run by veterans. And the LarkinMotorsFoundation.org is where you can go to get details on the programs that they fund through the foundation, including helping veterans that are in financial trouble, fixing their vehicles so that they can keep working. And so if you buy a raffle ticket, not only could you win this amazing vehicle, damn it, you could win this amazing truck that has been outfitted with all of this amazing stuff that I don't understand. But not only will you win the truck, but you win $30,000 in cash. So go to LarkinMotorsFoundation.org and get yourself a raffle ticket. If you got some extra money that you weren't expecting around the holidays, maybe you didn't buy as many gifts this year. Maybe you're realizing with a couple days left in the year that you don't have as many charitable write-offs as you need. Maybe your company needs some. You can go and buy these raffle tickets and then who knows, maybe you'll win a truck and a bunch of money next year. But you'll be able to write off the $100 raffle ticket as a charitable donation. So LarkinMotorsFoundation.org. And I want to thank those guys for the awesome care package of all of the swag that they sent me as well. So that was awesome. All right, speaking of mail, I got a big stack of cards that I wanted to thank you guys for. I know the mail has been slow. I know that people that work at the post office are exhausted, but I got a bunch of cards that I wanted to thank you guys for it because I think this year, maybe I'm wrong, but this year more than other years, getting Christmas cards was way more appreciated and noticeable than in years past, maybe. I think maybe because we were so used to seeing people in person that we kind of took Christmas cards for granted. This year, I noticed getting them meant so much because it was a way that you could share the holidays with people that you couldn't spend time with physically. So this one says, celebrate the season. And it says, with the merriest of friends, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Love, Heather and Chloe from the War Room family. So thank you guys so much. I love the card. This one says, Merry Christmas. And inside, I love that you sent it to me and the Hubs and Wednesday. Wishing you many merry moments all season long. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. May God bless you and Paul during his deployment and keep you both safe, from Melissa and Tim. Thank you guys. I love that. Thank you for thinking of him as well. I love this one because it has the abominable snowman on it. It says, Merry Christmas. Wishing you many merry moments all season long. Love Tracy and DJ, Jack, and Raleigh. So thank you guys for that. I love this one. Our Christmas came early. They got a new dog and used their Christmas card as like a birth announcement card, which I love. Bailey, born August 7th, 2020. Happy holidays. Love, Jason and Sarah. Look at the pug. Ah! Look at how cute. And it said on the card, we have joined the Pug Club and wanted to share our new baby with you. Much love. Cheers on kicking 2020 in the ass. Happy holidays. So I will say that if this is your first pug, every breed has strange little things that come along with it. So I'll just tell you, Jason and Sarah, that if you've never had a pug before and you have questions, let me know. Pugs are definitely a different breed of dog. And sometimes there can be little weird things that happen with pugs that don't happen with other dogs. So let me know. This one says MC Extra Hot. And it says, Christmas wishes to go. Hope this makes your holiday an extra merry one. A little something for you on Wednesday. Have a great Christmas from Heinz. So Heinz, thank you. The gift that you put in there was very appreciated. Wednesday thought it was very sweet too. So thank you so much. Merry Christmas. And I think that was all of them. So I wanted to thank you guys for all of the cards. I love getting them. And I just thought it was really sweet. And I think a lot of people are appreciating like old school mail, snail mail a lot more, just because it makes you feel connected in a way and gives you a reason to kind of run to the mailbox every afternoon. I've definitely become closer with my mailman than I have in years past, and the people at the post office getting all of your packages out. So I love the fact that you guys took the time to put me on your Christmas card list. So thank you so much for that. Okay, I want to give you guys a little bit of an update with mistresscarrie.com. Not too much to tell you. All of the orders have been shipped out. I love that you guys are tweeting at me and tagging me in all of your photos, wearing your sweatshirts and your t-shirts and drinking coffee out of your mugs and all of that. The website is up to date with podcast episodes, War Room episodes. I'm getting ready to post in the next couple of days, kind of a year-end music recap and playlist. So be looking for that in the blog section. I've been updating the events page with all of the live streaming shows that are getting announced with all the links and details on that. And it is my goal in January and February to really start filling the gallery section of the website with new photo galleries and all of my photo archives. So be on the lookout for all of that stuff as well. Birthdays today. Marianne Faithful is celebrating her birthday today, and also Dexter Holland from The Offspring. So as we always do every week here in the War Room, if today is your birthday, cheers to you, especially because you haven't been able to celebrate properly this year. Danielle says, got my March, love my hoodie. Yes, thank you. What do you have in that glass, Joe wants to know. This is Fernandez Sangria. Figured I'd finish the year strong. I want to put in a plug for the Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass on Patreon. Still offering up the bribe of Backstage Pass number 100, which is going to come with a pretty cool Mistress Carrie prize pack. So you could go to patreon.com/Mistress Carrie, get yourself a Backstage Pass. It's how I communicate directly with a smaller group. They're kind of like the fan club, and I use them as a focus group, bounce ideas off of them. They're in the loop early on a lot of things. And when we are able to start having events and I'm able to start making announcements, the people with the Backstage Passes always find out about everything first. They also get discounted merchandise in the store. So when I launched the store, everybody with a Backstage Pass got 15% off of everything in the store. And I will tell you that everybody with a Backstage Pass come January 1st is going to get a new code that is going to give you discounted stuff in the store. And moving forward, every month, there's going to be a different discount code for something different. And as we develop new products, I've been using the people with the backstage passes for advice, asking them for advice on the kinds of things I should be making. But there is always going to be that discount benefit for anyone with a Mistress Carrie backstage pass to be able to get discounted merchandise. It could be a code that'll give you free shipping 1 month, or a certain amount of money off of one product, or extra money off of something that's on sale in the store. So there's always going to be a discount code that's exclusive for people with backstage passes. So the link is on mistresscarrie.com, or you can go directly to patreon.com/mistresscarrie and get yourself a Mistress Carrie backstage pass. And as always, a reminder of where you can find me online: Twitter at Mistress Carrie, Instagram and Facebook at Mistress Carrie WAF, and then TikTok, Cameo, YouTube, and Patreon, all at Mistress Carrie. And the big one is the website. If you ever forget anything, just go to mistresscarrie.com and it's all right there for you. Let's see. Heather. Oh, it's Heather's birthday. Happy birthday, Heather. Brianna says, I sent it. She's being stubborn and not opening my message to view it. Are you talking about me? Am I being stubborn about something I didn't know? Donna wants to know ladies' tees. Yeah, there's ladies' tees in the online store. I've been told they run a little small. I got that feedback today. So if you're going to buy a ladies' tee, buy it a size bigger than you normally would. Isn't it always the way with ladies' clothes? They always make you feel bigger than you are. I'm not sure, she's been busy. The Devil Horns logo, Danielle, we're working on stuff with the awesome Devil Horns logo from the website. That is in the works for sure. Joe's asking about the pajama party. Trust me, I'm trying to make it work. I was hoping that was going to be tonight, but we couldn't get it lined up. So I'm working on the pajama party. But yes, it's definitely going to happen. I think that's it. I think we're good. So don't forget, tonight at midnight, episode 30 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, Paul Mercurio. I can't wait for you guys to join me here in the War Room for the first episode in 2021 next week, and to hear about what you thought about how candid Paul was with his journey through COVID-19, with humor and sarcasm and a little bit of attitude as well. So check your messenger, girl. Are you talking about me, Brianna? Who are you talking to? Carrie, we were talking about our video. Whose video? I'm so lost. Double horns right back at you, Travis. Michelle, don't even joke. I got Wednesday pajamas. She has them. Good night, Elsa. Happy New Year, fam. Stay safe and be well. Seriously, guys, this is the last episode of the year. Like I said, I'm trying not to make that big of a deal out of the fact that this year is ending and a new year is starting, because I don't want to put that much pressure on 2021. There's a lot of fucked up shit that this year needs to fix, meaning 2021. I just want you guys to know how appreciated you all are, and that you have been such a bright spot of my year. In what could have been just an absolutely depressing and disastrous year, you guys have somehow been a lighthouse for me that has steered me through crazy, stormy ass waters and kept me from crashing on the rocks. And so you will never understand how much this year has meant to me to know that you guys have been there for me. And in 20 years, when my nieces and nephews and my stepkids are asking me about what it was like to go through the crazy year that was 2020, I'll be talking about you guys. So cheers to you. I love you guys. Happy New Year. Please be safe. Please stay healthy and be positive. Ease your way into the new year and just breathe. Take this year, end it, bury it, kill it with fire, whatever you have to do. But let's start a new year off really positive, and let's see where this adventure is going to take all of us, because I have a lot of optimism and a lot of high hopes for this year. So cheers. Happy New Year. Happy 50th anniversary, WAF. This was supposed to be your year. We'll find out what 2021 has for the rest of us. And until then, one last time this year, don't lick anything weird and wash your damn hands.